Presale projects are completing 1 year to 1.5 years in advance from when their anticipated completion was supposed to be. And there's a major, major warning that I want to give you when it comes to investing in a presale condo, and be aware of these things. Because a lot of people don't look at these things and then they're caught off guard when they're like, oh my God, the project is like almost ready and we're like still supposed to be 1.5 years away. This can be detrimental to your investment. So there's a few things that I want you to look at when you're investing in a presale condo to make sure that you don't get caught up into this trap where your project is actually completing 1 year in advance and you're not even ready for this. So 2 things you need to keep in mind when it comes to dates and completion times for projects, okay? There's 2 main dates. One is an estimated completion date when the project is supposed to be completing. The estimated completion date is when the developer says, we're anticipating that we're going to start in, let's say, I'm going to give you 2 examples. Let's say we're going to start in spring 2025 and we anticipate 2.5 year completion time. So we're going to go into the summer or fall of 2027 is our completion time. That's an estimated completion time. Now that project can complete 3 months before, 3 months after. There's nothing the developer has to do and you just have to go with what the completion date is. Nothing that you have to do. Developer doesn't have to send you a formal notice to make changes to that estimated completion date. None of that stuff. That's just an estimated completion date. There's a second date in the contract and in the disclosure statement, which is called the outside date. So, for example, if the project starts spring 2025 and it goes into estimated completion date of fall 2027, that's your estimated completion date. Now, there's a buffer of 9 months to 18 months for that developer. Their developers are protected in that scenario because if the project gets delayed in scenarios like COVID, there's an earthquake, the building burns down, whatever the scenario may be, that outside date is 9 months to 18 months after the estimated completion date. And developers are kind of okay in that timeline. Developers don't have to give you any sorts of formal notice. They just say, hey, completion got pushed to 6 months after that. Our estimated completion date because of these reasons, shortage of supplies, whatever the scenario is, no formal notice needed from the developer. Now, what I'm starting to see developers do, and what developers have done in the past, is to make their project more appealing to the average investor. They were giving out a lot further out completion dates. I know a developer that tried to use their outside date, and they are actually doing firm contracts on these, their outside date as the estimated completion date. Just think about this right now. You're starting construction spring 2025. Your estimated completion is fall 2027, 2.5 year completion time. But you're not saying that the estimated completion is fall 2027. You're actually telling each buyer that, hey, the completion time is actually 2028 fall. That's a year later. And the average buyer is like, oh, wow, okay, it's actually a 3.5 year completion or 3 year completion. I'm happy with this. This is actually more appealing to me. I only need to put 5% now, 5% in 6 months, and I got 3 years in construction phase or 3.5 years in construction phase. So developers are giving out further out completion dates, but in reality, this project will actually complete fall 2027. And there's nothing the buyer can do about it. So be very, very careful when you're looking at these presale contracts, is that you're watching out for these dates and you're making sure the developer's not misrepresenting and marketing things that they shouldn't be marketing. And a developer can market the outside date all they want. There's nothing wrong with it. It's your job and the agents that you're working with job to determine if that's an accurate representation of when the completion is going to happen. And there's a few things that I can talk about what you need to look for when it comes to going to the site, checking out what stage they're at, if they have a building permit, if they don't have a building permit, are they ready to dig, are they getting to their financing stage? Those are different topics I can talk about. But right now, what I want you to focus on is just make sure that you're looking at the estimated completion date and the outside date. And if the developer's marketing the outside date as the estimated completion date, just know the project can complete 9 months to 1.5 years in advance. And people have been caught up with this, and they're going to continue getting caught up with this if they don't pay attention to this. So be very careful when it comes to presale investments, the estimated completion dates and the outside dates. Hopefully this helps.